Hello and welcome to Kump. It's a lot of chaos going on. We could talk about a lot of stuff. I found something in the garbage, and look, I live in Brooklyn, New York City. You walk around and you'll see all sorts of opportunities to take things from the trash. It's not that uncommon. You might see a nice, pasta pot, along with a copy of the Communist Manifesto. You might see, a wonderful futon, and also some kind of hate parade paraphernalia. You might just see, a yoga mat, and it's nice. And these things are, but I resist taking them. Not the hate paraphernalia. I mean, I don't need to resist, but the yoga mat, I would mind. I wouldn't mind stretching. I wouldn't mind, having a nice big pot for pasta right now when I make pasta. Probably gonna go back on keto soon, but I mean that's not irrelevant. The point is when I make pasta, I have a small pot. It's like a 2.5 quart. If you're a cook, if you're a chef, you might know what I'm saying. And when you have to basically like boil the water, take the spaghetti, and kind of use the lid from the pot to mash it's like let it boil for a second, and so it gets a little soft, and then you mash it down, you tamp it down, and it does it work to an extent. I mean, it definitely just chunks of the spaghetti that are hard, that you have to kind of chew. If I was running a restaurant, I wouldn't, be serving it this way, but I'm willing to put up with a little bit of I'm a rugged individual in a lot of ways. I can take discomfort. I'm maybe not like a Navy SEAL or an Army Ranger. I'm not saying I eat bugs and have rash all the time. I mean, I get rashes, but I mean, I don't like. That's one thing I wonder about these guys who go on these marches. Like, don't you get rash? They do. You hear about that, not in the movies. They don't mention that in Zero Dark 30. Or these or Navy SEALs with Charlie Sheen. I don't think they mention the swamp ass and the just degree to which they're at. They're itchy and they're sore and it hurts and you get abrasions and you get these fucking little mildew in your. I'm just saying I'll never say soldiers aren't tough. I question who they choose to kill and when. Hey, look, you got to order. I get it, but I'm just saying. But you have my utmost respect for the rashes. That's something I can relate to. I've never had to make a choice between killing a person or not, so I can't relate. I'm not going to judge you. I'll judge you, but I'm not going to. I'll let a degree of but I can vouch for how bad those rashes are. So you have my kudos there, if nothing else. But yeah, so. The point is I can put up with these things. I can have crunchy pasta. I can have, it's just undercooked. It's fine, but I would like a big pot. So when I see one, I'm like, oh, I want to take it. But, it's just, I guess if you boil it, it should be fine. I mean, if this was like, a post-apocalypse, which isn't that far off probably, I will adjust and I will be more willing to take things from the garbage full stop and just, like I was playing that Last of Us 2 that came out. I don't know if you're video game people, I'm not going to spend too much time, but it's a game where you spend a lot of time foraging things. The only things you find are alcohol, scissors, a couple other things, and you assemble things from them. I wish you would find just more trash. Like, here's a piece of trash, and then you just eat it. You get sick. That's be my video game. Like just like different finding different combinations of trash you can eat, and how to repair trash. But I will do that. I will fucking get on board with, scavenging throughout the wasteland that used to be society. I have no problem with that. I'm not above it. But I live at a certain level of society where I don't have to, and I feel like I'm just trying to be a better. I mean, this is something. It's not because I'm so much better off. It's just because I'm trying to be a better person. I live with Lucy. I try not to just forage garbage in front of her. Am I denying my true self for her? I guess you could argue that. because I'm not just, eating off of, let's just say a platter that I found next to a dead child. That's sad. That's a sad story. But I mean, that could be, like, the problem is you find all sorts of things. You find dead raccoon for sure, dead rats. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to not just take, I used to take things all the time. I remember being with a friend. We went into like woodworking at the time years ago. And I just, was driving past, suburban development on the way to his house. We were going to do some woodworking, and I spotted a nice treasure. And I'm like, I got to get this. This is going to be he's going to be so pleased with me. He was more experienced. He was more, the more woodworking expert of the two of us. He's going to be so fucking amped. This is going to be the greatest thing ever. I'm going to get such accolades. And I take this garbage wood from the side of the street, and I shove it into my car, which is full of actual garbage, just fast food wrappers. And I mean, anyone from that era who knows, when I was driving, my car was just literally a dump. And I don't know. I mean, it's a psychological thing, probably. Is it a form of depression? I don't know. I can't vouch for, why I'm willing to put up with, degrees of trash around me. But but it is not important. The point is, I get the wood, I bring it to his house, and he just looks laughing at me because it's particle board. I'm like, what the hell? I don't know what you're saying. You're being a snob. So what if it's particle board? We could use it for the bottom of a box. And he's like, no, you don't understand. You can't. I'm like, well, why are you being such a, everything's got to be, we got to go to Home Depot, and we got to fucking act like kings, and we got to, we got to be these great, classy men who go like contractors to the Lowe's, and we shove our fucking, tool belts around like we're strutting. I'm like, where do you keep your router bits, honey? And then just fucking, just acting like peacocking in the Home Depot. Just fucking, there's these two Long Island just slobs who think they're the hot shit. Just fucking, drinking coffee in the foyer of a Home Depot, just pontificating about different drill bits and reciprocating saw blades. Like, the healthy. The healthy is, top notch. But, I also like the DeWalt. No, I mean, I don't want to be that. I'm a low-key guy. I want to cut wood, but I don't want to be, one of these. You go to Long Island, you go to get an egg sandwich, and these guys are just like, yeah, there's more torque in the Bosch drill. I was like, okay, all right. I mean, you're not better than me. But that's not the point. After a long tirade such as that, he's like, you're an idiot. You're just a fat, dumb animal. You don't understand what particle board. It's not plywood even. It's just particle board. It's just, they make dust. They take dust, wood dust, and they glue it together. It's like this, they shred the wood into this, like, just literally dust, and then they mold it almost. And it's glued, and it's bound together by glue. And if you try to cut it, it just falls apart. There's no basis, to use it. There's no grain to the wood. So I would, this is a story about how I was a trash idiot, and I'm just very willing to just go through the trash. And I'm trying to be better. But we found, look, we've been talking for a while about wanting to upgrade our kitchen with a nice metal type rack, somewhere we can put our pots and our pans. And we found one. Look, could we find one if we were looking for it? I guess. We're both procrastinators. I'm not gonna get into that. Point is, we also need a shoe rack. And lo and behold, the other day Lucy was going out to play tennis against a wall, which is the state of our lives. I sit around stewing in my own fat while she plays tennis against a wall. Everything's fine. Everything's normal. We're just happy. We're very happy. So she texted me and goes, hey, there's these, can we use some of this stuff? And it's, lo and behold, a metal rack for our kitchen, and what really isn't a shoe rack, but a nice tall, shelf type thing. And like we could use this. This is something we could get into. And so I go down there, I put my mask on, I go and I snatch these things and bring them back. And now we have them in our kitchen. We have the shoes. I mean, honestly, we're using it as a shoe rack. It looks like we're living in a shoe store now. It's literally like a display. We have two shoes on, a pair of shoes on each shelf. It's kind of bizarre. I'm wondering if this seems almost like, when you talk about something on your phone, you talk about, I remember there was this thing where it was like, a guy at the bodega by my work, hey, you want this? And he hands me a Stella Artois, chalice or whatever you call it, one of those beer glasses, but it's not a normal one. It's like the curvy one. And I'm like, yeah, why not? Because I'm, a bum. I'll take it. And then, like, literally, I didn't even, like, talk about it and post about it. And half an hour later, I see an ad on my Facebook that with that same goddamn cup. I don't know what that means. I'm sure we've all encountered stuff like that. I mean, this is when it's bizarre because I didn't even talk about it. But so what are they looking at? So is this the next level? Are they leaving garbage for me? Is this the future? Is Amazon somehow, or Apple, because I do have an iPhone at the moment, so maybe it's Apple. Maybe Amazon's got the app on my phone. Who knows? Everyone's got their tentacles in. It could be Uber for some reason. Are they leaving garbage for me to find? What would be the end game? I don't know. I talk about this a lot, that, with a lot of these companies, it's all just a stock scam. That, Uber has never made a profit, as far as I know. They make tremendous losses, billions of dollars, maybe hundreds of billions. That might be a little much, but it's a lot. It's a tremendous amount of money that they lose every year. It could be the hundreds of billions. It could be crazy. It could be more, but it's still a lot, no matter what. And other companies are like that too. And you go, what's the gimmick here? What's companies that have been around for a long time, like well, I don't want to get into specific things. But point is, they're doing it just to get the stock price up. They want to get to an IPO. They want to get to the point where they can just, like, the owners of the company who are supposedly, because they value these companies. These companies are valued by, I guess, investment banks or things of that nature. And then, like, they'll get what happens, I guess, when you get a new investment, a new investor comes on, and they go, well, this is what we think your company's worth, so we're going to buy this many shares, and we're going to assume this value, and that becomes your new value, effectively. And so your stock price, whatever your worth, is determined by that. And so they're just kind of like, they're basically just trying to get the value up so that when they make an IPO, they can just take the money and run. I'm not saying everyone does that. I guess Zuckerberg still has Facebook shares. I mean, I don't know why you would. Why do you want to keep? Why is this? I deactivated my Facebook finally. I just didn't like the idea. I mean, I never use it. It's been a wasteland for years, and I'm never on it. And I noticed people, like, I went on to check one thing recently. I saw people liking stuff from the past, and there's nothing on there. I'm like, but I just don't like the idea of, like, I don't remember what's on there. It's stuff from years ago when I was first trying stand-up comedy. Who knows if this stuff is even fun? I mean, there's a perverseness to, like, your past just being out there. It's just out for the some joke. It's not even like about offending people, but just like how corny you might be. How there's someone sent a picture of me in a hat. I don't even know. It must have been on a dating site. Maybe it was on my Facebook, but they were like posting it somewhere. Picture of me in my hat, and was like, "What is this?" I mean, it was like an old Newsy hat, and it was it's fine. I look good in the picture, honestly. But the point is, like, I don't like my past creeping. That's something we have to worry about. But the point is, why would someone be giving me garbage? Why would someone be? I don't know. This is the life we're kind of heading into. A customized. I'm part of some fucking plan, or maybe they're bugging me. Maybe this is their way. But why do they need to bug me? They already have the phone in here. That's a good point. You watch those mafia things, they're like, oh, we have to get the bug in the restaurant, and everyone's got a fucking phone. It's just, convince some corrupt judge to, like, stop sending kids to federal prison for nothing for a moment, just so you can, like, hey, can you give me a warrant to turn this mafia guy's phone on in our office, and we can watch him jerk off. I don't know. I mean, is the mafia even around anymore? I'm sure it is, but, like, what are they doing? I wonder if I could get into the Italian mafia. I'm not Italian whatsoever. But are they such to the point where it's like, you can bullet chin. I mean, I could be an associate. I mean, I couldn't be a made man, but maybe I could. I wonder if I could make enough money. They must have made some. I mean, is it really the case that the Italian mob has never made a non-Italian a made man. They have to have. They could. You watch all these docs, and they only care about his money. They admit it. They're not even like trying to hide it. It's like, yeah, his honor shit. At the end of the day, it's like, who's an earner, who earns, and part of the gimmick was, I think keeping in the Italians was, like to keep him from going to jail at the coast of the Omerta. Is it Omerta? It sounds like an omelet, Omerta, but that's over. I mean, like, no one doesn't rat anymore. So, like, why not just let me be a made man? I don't want to just be called a made man. It sounds nice. But anyway, so I don't know I'm just trying to justify why I'm bringing garbage into my apartment. But it's not. It's working nice. It looks like we have a nice little sneaker presentation. It's not important. It's just something that's been vexing me. It's a big week for entertainment. I don't know if you've seen this new is it Cardi B and someone else? The WAP, WAP, this WAP video, very sexy. Lucy came up to me and have you seen this new Cardi B video? I guess it was the day it came out. I'm like, no. Is it? She's like, it's very sexy, and I was intrigued. Yeah, because like as you get older, it's just it's like this is just we're in the middle of a pandemic. I'm not wearing nice suits around the house, so maybe this is like I mean, look, I'm not sitting here going like, oh, I hope I get sex. Like, this is not. I'm not being the fucking sitcom husband. I'm just saying, like, but in the moment you're like, oh yeah, how sexy is it? Let's watch it together. And yeah, it's sexual. It's very just ass and dancing, and it's very aggressive. It's very like it's just women talking about how squishy their pussies are. I guess it stands for wet ass pussy. I got no moral objection to it. It seems I've always been a little confused about why sex is so cool. Because you think about what we as a society tend to like consider, like a guy who fucking I mean it used to be that guy who like put up with a lot, like a rugged. I mean, I guess John Wayne was considered an archetype, but I've always thought he was a big phony. But just like a guy who, like a Clint Eastwood, a rough and tumble guy who puts up with an army guy who can live in the dirt for 6 months at a time. Some guy who doesn't care. Just some guy who, like, I mean, if you look at the hero cycle or whatever from Joseph Campbell, there's a hero with 1,000 faces. You go through adversity, right, and sacrifice, and then that's who we think is cool. So I've never understood why something that like feels good is cool. Like, hey, I like to feel good. I like to shove my prick inside a wet, squishy pussy and shake it around until I fucking orgasm, and it's a nice feeling. It seems so bizarre. It's also drug culture too. It's very tied in. Like we feel good. Hey, I feel good right now. And it's like, why? When did that become the standard for for cool? So yeah. Oh, like it's like why am I not a hero for overeating Spam mixed with cheese, which is not even that good. If you ever cook Spam and you mix it with mozzarella cheese, it's pretty gross. But like it satiates some weird thing in me. Whatever, it doesn't matter why. I mean, maybe you have anxiety. Maybe you're Howard Hughes in the Aviator, and you're scrubbing your hands 50 times a day. But it feels good to him. But it's portrayed as who is this OCD psychopath who's become a shut-in. We watch Hoarders. We're not like promoting. This guy likes to have a dead cat under a stack of newspapers that are covered in mold and tchotchkes that he fished out of the garbage, much like I did with the shoe rack. This is a stage 1 hoarder, I guess. Whatever. It feels good. But why is it only when you're putting your prick in a squishy or whatever? I mean, if you're a lesbian, eating each other's whatever. Or if you're not, if you're pansexual, non-bi, whatever. I mean, whatever makes you feel good. Why is that It seems like an odd thing to be like to unify society around. Like I got a wet, like that's fine. It's just like, more power to you. And these people who are like promoting anti it because it's like damaging kids. I mean, it's not damaging kids. Who gives a shit? It's just that's the other thing. It's Christian. It's like it should just be a thing you do. It's like you should be eating. You ever eat a fucking Cadbury egg? It's all right. It's good. Like the old ones. My friend got a batch of the old ones from England because they've distorted them. The Cadbury egg is not what it used to be. They like made it smaller and the cream's not as good. But I got the old ones and they're delicious. They're tasty. But like there's a level to where it stops. I mean, it's just like, okay, I fucked for an hour before. Don't get me wrong. I'm not some guy who doesn't know how to fuck. And I've had sex. It's not coming from a place of like, I can't have sex, so why is it cool? I get sex. Well, I have sex. I mean, I don't get it. I'm not some creep. Are you gonna get some sex? It should be. I mean, maybe sex should be that though. It should be the same way you'd go to Howard Johnson's and go, can I get a stack of flapjacks and a half dozen eggs just like cracked and then not even cooked, just covering the flapjacks? Can I get that? Maybe sex should be. Probably who's going to give it to you? Sex robots and and strange animals in the future. But the point is, so I never understood the whole the pop culture aspect of, but it's cool. It's very sexy, very visceral, very just aggressive, and I like it. Women being aggressive about sex is cool. I don't know why. I just like, I'm gonna fucking sit on this dick, and then you're gonna fucking lose your mind. All right, cool. I mean, I've been to strippers before, and it's like they bite my nipple, and it's like nice. Like I wasn't expecting that. Sometimes unexpected things are nice. I mean, but we seem to reject that in most of society, though. It's only unexpected sex. If a homeless man, unfortunate individual, I mean, is that stigmatizing to call him? I mean, he is a homeless man, but not all homeless men would be there's certain people who might come up to you and throw their piss at you. And, they might not even be homeless, but whatever. I'm just saying there are people out there. And if he does it to you, no one ever seems to think, well, that was unexpected, but kind of nice. It's a new experience. Because not everything in sex feels good even. I mean, it should on some level. But like when people like getting hit, I don't love it. I'm not against the, I'm always willing to try, in a proper context. If someone wants to hit me with a bat, I'm willing to be open to that. But why am I not willing to be covered in piss by a guy who just approaches me? Excuse me. People think that's fake. I'm seeing people on Twitter, by the way. I saw this is not like it was a while back, but everyone on Twitter is like, normalize this, normalize that. I think they're clever, and someone's like, normalize not letting straight cis men sneeze the way they sneeze. Like, why would I fake that? I mean, I don't know if the mic picked up how, but it can be very loud and developed over time. My dad sneezed like that, and I used to be like, what's he doing? And then I just started. I mean, I don't know what it is. Is it my body? Is it my nose? Am I doing it subconsciously to get attention? Maybe I am. Maybe I am subconsciously just trying to get attention by sneezing, just so I can get some girl to notice me. Even though I'm very happy with Lucy, but I go out into the world and I just start sneezing for just a taste of that kind of attention, to see if I still got it, to see if I still have I can pull. Can I pull by like getting, hey there, I sneeze like a man, and then all of a sudden she's giving me a number, she's asking me to fuck, and it's great. I mean that's what they envision, I guess. It's not the case. Maybe some people do. Maybe it's subconscious, but the point is, what was the point? What were we talking about? I don't remember what I was saying before I sneezed. This is the problem with this stream of conscious, but it's fine. Sex. Oh yeah, a homeless man wants to throw piss at me. More power to you. I mean, the problem is everyone's worried about diseases. I mean, can you get diseases from piss? I don't think so. I think about if a guy on the street throws his piss at you, it's probably safe. I don't think you're going to catch anything from it. Shit's a little more complicated. So whatever, point, but we're only open to, if you lose all your money, you're just like, oh, this is the worst thing. Maybe it's a new experience. If, the government decides to start throwing you into the back of a truck, to test you for coronavirus against your will with an anal thermometer, maybe it's a new experience. If we start, illegalizing reading, whatever, if they want to set up some kind of weird situation where I'm indoctrinated into a new cult, as I go fight China, if we start a war with China, it's a new experience, but only sexual things are positive. I mean, not everyone. I mean, again, I guess the alternative to this is just people who get assaulted. So yeah, it's not great. I guess my theory doesn't really work out because I'm just talking about assault. But many people aren't cool with that. I guess there's a myth. There's a mythos to like one time a woman kissed me on the street and I liked it. She was drunk. I don't know. I'm just rambling now. The Democratic convention coming up. That's it's a big deal. It's a exciting time. We have some notable people left out, I guess you'd say. People are mad that AOC won't be a part of it. The bubbly, the face of the new Democratic Party, AOC. I mean, look, there's a very polarizing figure. Let's not, do I think the Green New Deal makes sense? Not at all. You need that counterbalance? Yeah, I mean, you need someone standing up to, even if it makes no sense to stand. We're heading into a oligopoly pretty fast, but whatever. But it seems to me odd that we're gonna have a convention. How is this gonna? Is it gonna be all gonna be Zoom? We're all just gonna be sitting around on our computers or maybe our TV, just watching a bunch of people do like Zoom speeches with like a guy with a boom mic and the camera guy, and that's it. And it's just like this is all very much leaning into the worst aspects of our current state of affairs. Like you couldn't play more into the dystopian theme of 2020 than to have a Zoom convention. It just strikes me as such a depressing. I mean, they're gonna have the Clintons there, and people are very upset. I mean, I guess you're innocent and proven guilty if you're the Clintons, or until proven guilty. Whatever, you get what I mean. They've been credibly accused, or at least Bill has, of sexually assaulting minors with Epstein's plane. I mean, he's also been charged with or accused of many rapes or assaults. I mean, some rapes, some inappropriate things. But they're leaning in because, I mean, look, they don't know. They have a guy who can't get through a sentence with Joe Biden. So it can be fun to watch. It's depressing. You hope that his brain's intact. We joke that he just has dementia. Hopefully he's like me and just has, he speaks in weird fragments. I feel like I get through sentences better than him though. I have these asides and I have these detours and I mumble, but I feel like I still make more sense than him when he talks a lot of the time. And I used to like the guy. The guy used to be sharp. Maybe I shouldn't have liked him in hindsight and realized all the crazy shit he was doing to minorities and women. But he was a Democrat who was aggressive and it seemed fun, like kind of like Anthony Weiner before he had his downfall. There's a guy yelling, or the guy Bob Bennett. He had that famous speech with he was yelling at what's his name? The Ted Cruz. This is malarkey or something. It was crazy. It was. Go look up that guy, that speech. I'd love to show you a clip, but maybe next time. But the point, he used to be fun. It's not fun anymore. It's still kind of funny, but in a dystopian way, in a way of like, ooh, these are. Because I mean, look, I don't know how you could be on board with Trump at the moment. I mean, I don't want to get into relitigating the entire conservative versus liberal thing, Democrat versus Republican. It seems at this point, though, I think there needs to be a baseline of society where we just agree to jump ship at a certain point. Like, we don't know what's going on here, but this is not working. And it tends to happen. It tends to happen with the economy, with the actual economic data. It tends to be a predictor. I don't know if that truism has been lessened because of just the peculiarities of our current situation. And also, like, the weirdness of how bad the opposition to Trump is. Biden's just the craziest choice. But, I mean, usually people will talk a lot of shit, but at the end of the day, if the economy's bad and his jobs are bad, the incumbent's fucked. And the Fed will do a lot. The Federal Reserve, over time, would tend to, the president would come to them, I think, 18 months out and be like, hey, we want to, it was a common thing to, I think they would lower the interest rate or whatever mechanism they did, and it would juice the economy. But these things take time, so they would do it 18 months out, and then they would juice the economy. It would trickle into the different sectors, and so you get a little bump around the time of the election, and people are like, things are all right, things are pretty good, and it's a gimmick. And even though the Fed used to be more less in the pocket of the president, it was always kind of understood, and it was and apparently, I remember watching this speech one time from this really obscure economist guy, and he was saying that Bush won. H.W. Bush didn't do that. It was inexplicable. It's kind of you don't hear about. No one ever, you hear about Ross Perot, and you hear about the recession and all this stuff, but on the micro level, I can't 100% vouch for this theory, but it's interesting perspective, because the idea that no, that's how fragile your democracy is, that he could have won if he had just had the Fed lower the interest rate by a couple of basis points, or it might be a lot, whatever they do, whatever the mechanism is for making looser money into the economy. If he'd done that 18 months out, he would have probably won. That's how, that's the thing. People, it's so hard to deal with people now, because they're still going how can you be a conspiracy theorist? And it's look, I get QAnon's annoying and it can be damaging. I get that, this pandemic response by the people, they think that masks are killing them. This is all some kind of conspiracy to get you to worship Baphomet or whatever it is. Yeah, it's frustrating. You shouldn't have relegated all the most uncomfortable truths of our society to conspiracy theory, then to allow it to only be talked about by quote unquote kooks and people who have no stake in society. There were plenty of journalists, I'm sure, over the years, some of them self-censor, and that gets worse and worse over time because of the repercussions that you place on them. But you've allowed this to become a situation where the only people who are talking about 9/11 are kooks, and even Chomsky wouldn't touch it because he wouldn't want to be tainted by this. So it really is, you've made your own bed, so now you have to live in a situation where we can't even talk about the worst. This idea that somehow if I want to talk about overthrowing, how we overthrew Iran. I always use the same examples. I should read more books. I really am a blowhard. But once you get a whiff of how bad, but the point is, it's always been this bad. People talk about now about how everything's falling apart. And reality is, it's always been kind of fickle. It's always been this very tenuous, where the financial sector really, in ways that you don't understand, controls and dictates the flow of politics. But now, so who knows? Maybe now with the way the Fed, the Fed can't even. What can they do? We're zero interest rate all the time now, or almost. Who knows? You can keep track, but they don't even try to pretend like it's an independent organization anymore. So it's bad. It's really bad. But whatever. We're talking about the convention. What are they gonna talk about? Look, they don't have the wherewithal to do the right thing and just lie, the Democrats. Again, I don't want to make it a pointed thing, but, Trump likes to lie. That's why you like him. That's why he's likable. You can't deny a certain likability. He's a huckster. Now, when you realize the human cost of it, all right, yeah, but like there's an immediate charm. So Biden needs to come. They need to come out and just start lying and like saying we got a vaccine. I mean, we're only going to give it to you if you vote for this rotted brained, just ex whatever he is, just like an ex racist alpha dog who turned into whose brain rotted. He's almost he like Biden's a kook. He's crazy. They need to juke him up with a little bit of we not only have a vaccine, but we're gonna give you some money. We're gonna pay you. We're gonna give you a subscription to Netflix if you join the Democratic Party. We're gonna give you Disney Plus, not the not the version that has ESPN and Hulu, but you're gonna be able to watch the Avengers if you vote for Joe Biden. We're gonna give you a little bit of heroin. You like heroin? We got friends in the Taliban. We'll give you some heroin. Do you like Marie Callender's macaroni and cheese? We'll give you a voucher for that. Just lie. I mean, like maybe you give them macaroni and cheese, but you like I don't know what you're appealing to. Oh, if you vote for Joe Biden, he'll handle this better. All right, but it's already been mishandled. I mean, no one's gonna. I don't know that you could can you tell the governors now to just change? You think if Joe Biden gets in, he's gonna like all these states that like aren't making people wear masks? I mean, I don't know. Can you not make people? They're saying now that these mandates aren't enforceable. I don't even know. But like the point is, can you put it back in the bottle? What are you saying? Look, I mean, the idea should be punish the other guy. Why does no one ever say that? Look, I don't know what I could do. I'm an old man. I'm dying. But just stick it to him. He's the one that put you here. At least I'll die, and then someone else will take my place, and it's a crapshoot. Yes, my brain is rotting, but I'm probably going to die. I promise to kill myself in a year. Why not do that? Can a president do that? Can a president promise to kill himself a year into office? If you brought that to the Supreme Court, I don't know that you could make a case that that should bar him from the election. It's a weird thing to do. But he's outright putting it out there. I mean, there's a whole scandal on the West Wing when the guy had MS and he didn't tell the American public. And I don't even know if that was you guys think you can impeach him for that. But I mean, in this case, Biden would be, in theory, telling people, I will shoot myself in the face 1 year from taking office. And then you can get whoever the VP is. Would that be? I don't know that's improper. If you're giving the voters the information they need to vote, I mean that's a game changer. That's something you can get behind. And I don't want to make a lot of suicide or wish ill will on Joe Biden, but the idea of it's kind of like in Breaking Bad when doesn't he at the beginning think he's gonna die, so he's just making I'll become a drug dealer and. I mean, the show is, cartoonish, but it's fun. But, why not just say, I'll shoot myself in the face or hang, whatever. I'll take pills. People might not want to see the vice president shoot himself, but whatever, like take pills, something. They need to shake it up. I mean, Joe Biden's on his way out. Why not? That would be memorable because you're going to be remembered for just mishandling a pandemic anyway. I'm not saying what he should do. I'm saying what I would do if I was in his shoes. I would just, look, there is no more CIA, taking people out anymore. We see that with Trump. I mean, Kennedy, that seemed personal in hindsight. And I don't believe that Oswald acted alone, but, it definitely seems personal, the attack on Kennedy. But there's no deep state that, is reining anything in anymore. We talked about it last week, but they seem to have shifted to just a looting mentality in the government of just get it while you can. Much the same way with social media and YouTube and Twitter. Get something while you can. If you want to be a TikTok star, do it now because doors are closing. You want to get on this Instagram Reels? You better. Is that coming out now because TikTok closed? I just realized that. Or not closed, but there's this whole tension. Do they rush that out because, hey, we want to be in a position to take the people from TikTok. If you haven't seen Instagram Reels, it's like this basically a TikTok type thing on Instagram. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of differences. I've seen people. I've never been on TikTok. I never used it. I logged in the account. I look at what people are doing. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to. There's nothing visible about me, I guess, is the problem. Like, people aren't brought in by my visuals, and barely my voice either. It's really just, I'm not even sure. It's chaos what brings them in here with me. But I can't just go dancing and shoving my ass in the air and then go, like, and while Cardi B is singing wet pussy, pussy wet, pussy I'll suck your dick, but only because I like it, which is good. It's empowering. I'm all for it, but that would I should do a cover of WAP. Is it WAP or just WAP? Some Italian girl got mad because it's like, oh yeah, what? And she wrote out the N word on Twitter. It was like, idiot. It's not even, and people immediately she had I think they call it ratios where 6 likes and 10,000 comments, and they're all like, you're a moron. It's not even spelled the same. It's like WAP is without papers. It's an Italian. It's not even the best derogatory thing against Italians. Like who says WAP? It's just not even I feel like it doesn't bite. There's certain things you can say, which I won't say because there's no point in being overtly. I mean, it would just feel, even though it's not as bad as I'm not going to equate it to the N word or anything like that. But yeah, it would feel aggressive to start saying some of the more vivid anti-Italian defamation terms. But WAP I've always thought was kind of a silly one. It was like one from the 50s. But yeah. But so I don't think Cardi B was going against the Italians. That'd be a crazy thing too. It'd be a weird move to just start being like, hey, you know what? You know who has it too good in this country? Italians. I mean, look, they're considered white. There's a whole theory. I don't want to get into a can of worms here, but part of racist theory or whatever is who's considered white and who gets assimilated into quote unquote whiteness. And I think they argue so Italians are considered white in that aspect. I'm not speaking out of turn here. But, it'd be weird to isolate the Italians. It'd be weird to isolate the Irish, unless you're actually Irish. It's funny when Irish people go after Irish people or Italians go after Italians. But, it'd be weird for Cardi B, in the midst of all of this social change going on and unrest, and, they're just going, you know what? I don't want to talk about the cops. I don't want to talk about the prison industrial complex or the carceral system. Is that what they call it? The carceral system. I don't want to talk about the school to prison pipeline. I want to talk about Italians. I mean, it's a weird. It tells you where these people's heads are at. They think they're being targeted. I think I'm being targeted for taking things out of the garbage, but that might be legitimate. But the idea that Italians are being that happened a long time ago with the Italians. You've gotten your. You're not really in a position to complain to. I mean. Do they even do that anymore? The defamation stuff. They used to even as early as the 90s were going on about it. But whatever. Point is, can I sing about having? If I do, I shouldn't do a cover, right? There'd probably be in this day and age, probably not. It's not for me to do. I don't have a pussy, and B, I shouldn't be co-opting, black artists. And was Cardi B black? I don't know. I'm not even going to do it. There was some debate about someone recently, but I don't know if it was her. I think whatever. The point is, I shouldn't do the cover, but it would be fun. It would be fun to. It's just a fun way to sing. I like sexy rap. It's aggressive. What else is going on? But I don't know what this convention is going to be. They're going to have Clinton. You're going to have Hillary Clinton speaking at the convention. Just hey, I'm pretty sure I won last time, but I'm not bitter about it. I mean, she's British. She's openly. She's one of the most openly bitter losers in history of politics. She might have a good reason. You could argue. I mean, electoral college wise, she seemed to have clearly lost. If you want to argue against the electoral college system, sure. I don't know if voting is going to matter anymore. I think we're unfortunately heading into a situation where we're going to do the mail-in voting, and Trump's complaining about how this whole mail-in system is going to be the most corrupting in history, most corrupt election in history, which, yeah, I mean, I don't know what the basis for that is. I mean, there's so much corruption in every election. I think they say the fraud level is not, catastrophic when they talk about the voter ID stuff. But I mean, we know for a fact that like Kennedy had the election stolen for him by, Sam Giancana in Chicago. And you look what happened in Florida in 2000. You look at, and that, look, the point is don't let it be close, but everything's close now. That's you would think they like, if they were running this, if this was some kind of, deep state, really running both sides, why would you set it up where you're constantly stealing elections and things are contested? Why is it so evenly split? I mean, I guess you can argue that, like, the people, they don't have the complete control. The people are going for, are going for it. But why, you think about why the Republican Party, states what it states. I guess it goes back to the Southern strategy, what they call, with Nixon or even before him, perhaps. I think it was Nixon. The idea that when, like, the Republican Party started appealing to, like, religious voters in the South and I guess, like, working class people, because it was traditionally, the party of capital, for the most part. I mean, small businesses probably, sure, but it wasn't seen as this rural thing, and I'm not, I'm sure you guys know that. So the point is, like, but why, if it was organized that way, why is abortion mixed in with, federal, subsidies to, like, the corn industry? Like, we're going to keep babies alive, and we're going to give McDonald Grubber, whatever his defense contractor is, the right to create this microwave that, shoots cum at the enemy or whatever. We're going to pioneer ways to kill, but also, keep this baby alive and then not give him anything. It's designed to draw you, deeper into insanity almost. And what's the point? That's the thing. We're living in a state where, like, even conspiracies don't mean anything. They don't matter anymore. They don't make any sense anymore. I mean, like, there's no end game to any of them. The only thing you could say is, like, once they have robots to do their gardening, I guess, and to, like, work in the chicken factory. I mean, how many jobs are even, like, they even need to? Money is fake. What does America even produce anymore? We're all just moving things around. It's just to keep us busy while they play around in Martha's Vineyard and, Newport, Rhode Island. I mean, there's nothing to do. There's nothing left to do. They're just having barbecues or garden parties, I guess. And they know. I'm sure they know. They go, why would you act this way? I asked this a lot. I talked to Tim a lot about it. Well, why would they play it the way they're playing it? We assume it's cynical. We assume it's money. But why play it this way? Why not pretend at least to do it, And, like, they just, I mean, there's a photocopy effect where you're further away from any sense of, I guess just, the children and the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren of motherfuckers. Guys like, Carnegie and whatever, Vanderbilt and Roosevelt, whoever these guys. Why did Roosevelt's get into power? What did they do? Were they bootleggers? Were they just selling, were they slave traders? I don't even know what the Roosevelts did. How did they make their money? Who knows? How did some of these fucking people get into power? My point is, did Teddy Roosevelt, like, franchise the Rough Riders to, like, be a sports team? What is it? Nothing this matters anymore. I don't know if this episode is as funny as it should be. It's depressing. People are going after Trump for this interview with Axios. I don't know what Axios is. I mean, I guess they took over the news stuff on HBO, the news programming. I never heard of them. I mean, I think I heard the name, but I always thought they were like a web, hey, make your website on Axios, and then so all of a sudden they're giving me news. But I guess it's not what they were. But people giving shit to this guy. I don't know what you expected this guy to do. Be like, oh, he's a terrible interviewer because he's got. I mean, at a certain point, it's just Trump's very willing to just play it fast and loose, and the guy's calling him out. What else can you do? There's no proof you can bring. There's no, like, smoking gun anymore. There's been a million smoking guns. We know. I mean, the guy's not giving you his tax. You think he's doing it on like? No, I believe in the right of privacy for businesses to not have to give their tax. No, he could give his tax return. He doesn't. He could talk about he fired people in response to the whole Russia thing. Now, was it overstated? Potentially, but the point is the way you why'd you act the way you acted? It is what it is. I mean, again, this is not to relitigate the Mueller investigation. The point is, like there is no more journalist like getting you. I mean, he's basically openly said like, people are gonna die. It's fine. He called it a hoax before. Now it's not. These things would have been political suicide years ago. They're not. There's no more. Like there is no version of that journalist where he like I caught you fucking your kids and drinking blood, from a chalice that the goat king of whatever Satan. No, it wouldn't matter. Like people would think it was cool. They wouldn't care. They'd call it a deep fake. There is no more. And it's the people's fault because you believe what you believe. You, on both sides, you take things at face value from these people. And then you just and you get stuck in your cubes. I mean, I don't know when centrists became, or just having a rational sense of detachment became such an evil thing. I don't know when it became that, like, worse than someone who, look, maybe you want to kill babies, full stop. I'm not, trying to say pro-choice people, but like maybe you're just a pro, and like, and that's fine. And like maybe you, really just love babies, like whatever the thing is, whatever. Maybe you just believe that, like, some of the rhetoric. But you can't tell me that, like, this just ticks all your boxes. So the idea, like, this has been on for years. And, I'm a business owner who, believes in the right to life, but also I make sludge that, like, poisons, is a Flint-based company. And we make the sludge that goes into the Flint fracking. The fracking is some of it, but we just add more because we figure it's already fucked, so why not just make, what's going to poison you? But I also believe in the right to, it's fine. And like also, it's like I'm a Democrat and I believe in, giving people the right to come here, but also, tax businesses to the point where they, they can't compete and, with large corporations and therefore they go out of business. And it's like, it's like both sides have their, I think we can admit, well, whatever. I'm not going to get into it. Not everything has to be equal. Just because both sides are fucked doesn't mean they're always equal. It's everything in flux. But there is no smoking gun anymore. There's no more. There's no more. There's really no more sense of like what can we do? Nothing. I mean, vote him out, Trump, for the sake of it. But is that going to make it better? I don't know. Probably not. I mean, you have a guy, he's just going crazy. Now we're going to replace him with a guy who's also losing his mind. So, yeah, I repeat, I feel like Joe Biden could be, it's much like, King Solomon when they brought him the baby. They said, hey, there's a dispute between these two mothers about whose baby is, it belongs to. How did that even happen? There's a famous thing with King Solomon in the Bible where it's like, this woman's claiming it's her baby, and it was my baby. And it's like, when King Solomon's like, what the fuck can I do here? Oh, I'm this one's looking one way, so the other way. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, how is that even plausible? But whatever. I guess she stole the baby, one of them, in the middle of the night. I mean, it seems bizarre, but whatever. It's accepted as a classic biblical tale. And King Solomon pulls out a sword and goes, all right, I got this handled. This is fine. I'm just gonna cut this baby in half. And the one mother goes, perfect. You truly are the King of Kings, the great man, noble and wisdom. You excel in both. And the other one's like, no, I don't want that. I love this baby. It's my baby. Don't kill. Do me a favor. Don't kill the baby. Please, just leave it. And he goes, well, you're the mother because you wouldn't want the baby to die even if you don't get it. It's, I mean, that's what Joe Biden could do with this whole like I will. I mean, look. If you're squeamish, we can do a fake video where he pretends to do it, and he can live in Ohio somewhere, in Montana on some compound, But you make the theater. It's like professional wrestling. I mean, honestly, what about that? What if you just made it where, like, we all know you're not going to kill yourself, but, like, it's part of the theater. It's part of the kayfabe. I always say kayfabe, but I think it's kayfabe. I don't watch wrestling. But the point is, and, like, so, why not just have that? Maybe things would be better if we just acknowledged they were fake. And, like, you could get past the fact that they were lying. You get past the lies, and look, have the theater. It'll look good. But, because, like, then you get past we all agree to circumvent the Constitution sometimes. You go, well, how, he's still alive, he'd have to, like, resign, that would look bad. No, he'll pretend, it'll be like a thing. It'll be, they'll get some CG, and he'll have, like, or maybe they'll fake a death. He'll have a toaster, and he'll drop it in a pool of water and fall into the pool or something, or fall into his bathtub. It's a comedy of errors. But he's still alive, he's happy. He's living like a clam in the middle of Montana. But, we all get to try out the new president, whoever he hasn't picked yet, because God knows why. He'll probably pick it soon. Them. I think it's going to be a woman. Pick me. Should pick me. I'm the one that's forward thinking here. I'm the one with different ideas. I think I'm of age. I could be the president. We should really get this going. We should really figure out a way for me to, to get in on this democracy scam. Because I feel like I could bring something to the table. But yeah, I mean, there's really not much hope. Just try to get a skill going. Just try to learn to do woodworking and don't use particle board like I did. But like learn to do that. Learn painting, learn plumbing, I mean, like a lot of these things are trade schools, but you could probably I'm sure the trade schools are, they're good, but they're also like you can learn on your own and you go to trade school to get a certification. Learn to be some kind of OnlyFans specialist, a piss specialist, a shit specialist. Like a lot of girls are out there because of the economic situation, just showing their body. That's fine. I got nothing against it. But my point is, you in order to compete, you need to this is what capitalism is. People have a hatred for capitalism. And I'm all for a safety net, but the reality is, if you fill niches. You fill them. I mean, but the problem with a more controlled economy is that in the OnlyFans world, everyone's just going to be a hot girl shoving stuff in their ass and doing hey daddy, whatever the shit is, with the Suicide Girls tattoos. There's no one sitting there going like maybe someone wants a fat hoarder who will take objects from the hoarding pile. Old newspapers, bottles of piss, and then use them sexually. A dead cat. You're never gonna get the state to do that. You're never gonna have them mandate a certain amount of jobs for that fetish. But capitalism, allows for that. It allows for the sub-specialization of all sorts of industries. So maybe someone who's hoarding, because without that, they're just left to get their minimum, basic income, and then that hoarder person is, they can't thrive. But now, that hoarder can get their life turned around because people want to shove them, watch them shove newspapers inside themselves, and play with dead animals and all sorts of. I mean, I used to scream so loud watching hoarder. I would get so frustrated. It just drove me nuts. Maybe because I realized maybe I could become this. But it's just the way you can't. It's interesting to pull it all because that really is the hoarders. The way I felt about maybe that's why I don't get so crazy anymore about all of this. I can be detached because I felt the way about hoarders, the way a lot of people feel about their opposing side, whether it's libtards or Trump. Is there a term for them? MAGAs. What people feel about MAGAs and libtards. I felt about hoarders. All right, and I just. The way they couldn't be reasoned with, like, no, I need this hovel, this precious moments figurine that I found in the garden. I need this collection of natural scientific magazines from 2000, to 2009, and I need these pizza boxes I've subcategorized. I need these Ziploc bags I found. It's like and the level to which they can't be reasoned with drove me nuts. And I would be there for my friends, we'd be watching it, and I would scream at the top of my lungs, angry. Not trying to be like a showboat, but I really would just kind of lose my mind how angry I would get at these people. And there's nothing to be done. At a certain point, they just clear out, they clear your house out, and then the person's not better. The person doesn't see, they're gonna fill up some other fucking place with more garbage and piss and dead cats, and that's just how the story ends. So there really isn't, that's gonna be America. It's just gonna be. Eventually, they might clear it out. I don't mean genocide, but who knows? But I hope not. But I mean more just like they'll figure something out, but it ain't gonna be better. It's not gonna. We're rotten to the core, but you can be better. You can do whatever you got to do. You can get out there. You can just be just make your own life. Don't get sick. So it's been great. This one's a little more heady. I don't know. It was a fun time. Definitely, podcast. Check out the Patreon if you're interested. We got new episodes coming out every Thursday. $5 a month. You get a new episode every week. We're also, I'm starting there's a $20 tier if you want to get the extra episode, and that's going to be coming out soon, the first of many. Check out the Patreon. You go to my Twitter or Instagram. It's patreon.com/RayCump. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at RayCump. And I'll either see you Thursday or I'll see you next week. Have a great week.